Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top-selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game-changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. I am so excited. I get to interview Hannah. She owns Decompress Massage Therapy. I am going to bring you through her story of doing solopreneur all the way into expanding her business, niching down, and how she expanded, and maybe how she sets herself apart from other massage therapists. So I'm so excited for you guys to hear her story and hopefully get inspired to maybe possibly expand your own massage therapy practice. Without further ado, here we go. Yay, I have Hannah here. We're so excited to dive into anything massage therapy. Welcome, Hannah.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I am excited to share my story with everybody today.
Oh, thank you. Yay, you guys should be so excited. So Hannah has a great massage therapy practice here in the Twin Cities. And I really want to go into a little bit of her story. But first, I want her to introduce herself, kind of go into her background, and so you guys can get to know her.
Well, I have been a massage therapist. I always have to think of this math in my head. I've been a massage therapist for about 7 years. And when I first went into it, I told myself, I am going to do this part-time. I'm just gonna try to make a little bit of money. This is nothing serious for me. In fact, the first job I had, I worked 3 6-hour shifts a week. I was like, nope, this is just for extra cash. I'm not that invested into this. And then, lo and behold, I got a divorce and things changed for me. And so then I went into working for a spa full time. And I did that for about 4 years before I realized that I was burnt out. I was doing one massage after another, usually 6 or 7 a day. I didn't really ever get to know my clients. And it was enough for me. At that point, I was like, there's gotta be something more. Stepping out on my own sounds really, really scary. But I think what sounded even scarier to me was remaining in the same place. I was miserable.
Yeah.
And so I went into a solo studio and I shared it with somebody. And at that time, $600 a month in rent felt like the scariest thing ever. It's amazing what I pay now, so that I was scared of the $600.
Right?
And I still kept my job at the spa. And after a month, I was able to quit the spa and go full-time on my own.
Yay.
And I did that for 2 years and then just expanded my space this past May. That was a long, hard process.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like...
You're like, okay, can I do this?
Yeah, I don't know what I thought expanding a business would be like.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like how it turned out to be.
No.
Nobody can.
Nobody can predict that. And I don't think you're ever going to be fully prepared. But I think that's like true with like just business ownership in general, or just entrepreneurship in general. Like I think there's going to be, everybody's journey is so unique. And so it's like, yes, I can pick up information here and there. I can read things. But you really aren't going to know the hurdles, battles, failures, excitement, and all of the other emotions that you go through until you just do it. And everybody's is so different. So it's cool to hear your story. Thank you for sharing that background, because it gives people a little bit of insight about who you are and like your journey. And I feel like the reason I really wanted to have you on this podcast as well is because your journey is so relatable to people, of like how maybe somebody would go about their own journey and like how it looks maybe if they're wanting to expand and they're wanting to do all the same steps that you took. One of the reasons I started following Hannah on social media too was when we talked about this a little bit before we recorded today too, is like, she really niched down. And I don't think necessarily everybody needs to niche down in the massage therapy field. So we can kind of go into that too. But I think one of the unique things that she was doing at the time, specifically on social media, was she was really gearing her marketing towards people who were looking for a different massage experience. So maybe clients that had had a bad experience, or maybe clients that were looking for a softer touch, or maybe clients that were just looking to melt away on the table and not necessarily looking to get that one spot or, do a little bit deeper tissue massage. And I think that's really unique. It really captured my eye, number one. I also do have a massage therapy background as well. So I will say, I'm also kind of just always looking at different massage therapists around town. I don't offer massage anymore, but I always think about it and I always kind of miss it. And I don't know, I think that's true for any service that you might drop, in your career, right? And you kind of think about, or any past careers you've had, you're kind of but I love your journey. I love your story. I know other people that were in the same salon suites that you were in. So that's probably also how I started following you, because I was like, well, let me get to know these people. But I think your story is awesome. It's very relatable. It's very hey, this is the journey that a lot of people can take and a lot of people might take. So when it came to niching down or doing your marketing, maybe can you go a little bit more into detail with that? Because obviously what I'm seeing on the other side is maybe different than what you were actually trying to achieve, but that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, totally. So when I started, everybody said, you can't have a successful practice unless you're doing focused, specific, deep tissue work. And I was like, watch me.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I really love therapeutic massage that's relaxing.
Yes.
So that's not to say that the massages that my team and I give don't have therapeutic value.
Right.
They absolutely do.
Yes.
But we keep an intentional and relaxation focus throughout.
Yeah.
And the reason it worked is because I had passion for it.
Yes.
Even to this day, if
that.
I think about doing just deep tissue massages, having people come in for very specific issues and working on that for an hour, that wouldn't make me happy.
Yeah.
So I decided that at the beginning I was going to do what I love and the clients would find me.
Yeah.
And I think at the beginning that is scary for a lot of people because you want to be full, right?
Yeah.
When you look at your schedule and you see gaps on your schedule, you're like, well, I'll just take anybody.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you lose joy and you lose out on the ability to find the clients that are the right fit for you.
Yes.
And the faster that I was like, these are the exact clients that I want to work with, this is kind of work I want to do, they came.
Yeah.
And then they told their friends about me, and it wasn't long before my schedule was filled with the right clients.
Yes.
Now, there were hiccups along the way.
Of course. Because marketing is never a straight line. It's never going to be like, oh, I got it exactly. You always are going to have to play around with it. And I'm guessing that's kind of what you experienced as well. Is what words do I actually use? Am I actually attracting? Or even the journey of trying to narrow down your passion. And I think that's true for a lot of entrepreneurs. You're maybe not always going to know that right away of what your passion is until you start realizing it, unfortunately, through the failures or through parts of your career that you're like, oh, I just really am feeling burnt out. And I think that's amazing. I drive from a place of passion, and that's where I drive with my coaching clients as well. I'm like, you are never going to be happy in your career unless you're doing it out of passion. So I love that you mentioned that, because that is 100% true for anything. I don't care what you do in this career. I don't care what part of the beauty industry you're part of. Unless you're driving from a place of passion, you are going to hit roadblocks every single day.
Yes, and then here's the thing with business. It ebbs and flows.
Yes.
There will be incredible lows,
Yes.
especially in expansion. It is a lonely road.
Yeah.
And so without that, if you're like, I don't love what I'm doing, when you hit those lows,
You're going to hate it.
You don't want to get out of bed in the morning.
Nope.
But you're like, nope, I love what I do. I love what I'm providing to the world.
Yes.
I love what I'm offering my employees.
Yes.
Yes, I can show up again. I can
Yes.
show up for another
Yes.
day.
The other thing that I think that you touched on that's really unique too is not just focusing on the deep tissue part of it, because I truly believe as a massage therapist, like, and just like a person in the industry and just having services done on myself and then being a service provider, it's a whole body experience, including your mind. And I think when I get my massages, if I am a busy up here, there's no way the rest of my body is going to relax. So I agree with you when it comes to like, you have to set that tone right away of like, we're going to relax now. Like, this is your time to decompress, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is your time to let all that stuff go, or just let it go for at least an hour or two, and really focus on your body and really focus on being in this room and really focus on that. And I think there's something to be said about that, because massage is so beneficial for the body in so many ways, like so many ways. So I think like for a client perspective, and if you're looking for a unique marketing perspective, if you're listening, focus on that. Focus on how are you going to make them feel? What is that experience going to look like? And I think for me, looking from the outside to your business, that's what you always portrayed is like, this is what your experience is going to look like. I think you did amazing videos too.
Oh,
so
thanks.
that was really unique, because it is hard to bring somebody on and show what you're doing when you do massage, because obviously a lot of people are private, a lot of people are naked, like, there's all these different scenarios.
So many factors, yeah.
So I like that you really found a unique way to show people inside your room, because that to me gave a picture of relaxation, serenity, like your room was dark, like and you could even like almost like have an aromatic feeling with it, which is kind of funny to me, but like it gives that feeling. And I will say for marketing, that's exactly what we all want to do, not just for massage. Like, you want to give people that experience first, and then they'll be like, wow, I need to do this. I need to book with this person as soon as possible. Like, and then obviously your clients are happy because you're passionate. You're driving from that place of passion. Like, it's just so golden. So let's talk a little bit about your expansion.
Okay.
Especially since that is something that, is more recent, but that's also something that maybe a listener is interested in. So if you guys are listening and you're a massage therapist and you kind of been on a similar journey and you're looking at expanding, maybe she's going to give you some tips.
I think everybody wants to hear about the expansion.
Of course.
Because it makes them feel like maybe they could do it and it's less scary.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people want, like, here's the blueprint for exactly how I did it.
Right.
How I went against all the roadblocks.
Yes.
I wish I could say that was the case.
Yes.
That is not it.
I know. The truth about it takes a lot of passion.
It does.
Even in that. And you were saying that before we started recording. I said, expansion is not for the faint of heart. Like,
no.
You're going to have so many things, whether it comes to like city licensing, even expanding into the space, even finding a space, hiring, like picking things, like the littlest things of like paint colors, or like, there's so much in that journey that people don't see, that I think it's good to be realistic.
It is. And
right?
I think that also, if I could give one major piece of advice, it would be patience and consistency.
Yeah.
If you show up and you're doing the things that you know are going to work in the long run,
Yeah.
and then you have the patience to wait for those results.
Yeah.
Because if you narrow your view and you just look at the day-to-day, you're going to become frustrated, and you're going to be like, this is going wrong, that's going wrong. But expanding your view to be like backing out and being like, okay, I'm putting in the work.
Yep.
Things are going up.
Yep.
There's obstacles along the way.
Yep.
But overall, the whole picture is positive.
Yeah. And you're heading in that same direction. And I think that's true for so many things. Like, I always tell people, like, write your biggest goal down, right? Write that scary goal down.
Yeah.
Like expansion. Let's say that's the scariest goal. And then write maybe some steps to get to that expansion. So like for me, I'm very like, I need a small achievable steps to give me that bigger picture,
Bingo. Yep.
right?
Yep.
So like, let's say, finding a space, that's a huge one. Like you have to find a space, and like, what city are you going to find it in? Like, where is your client cluster already? Like, so even those types of things of like, okay, I have to really do this. And what you're saying to me is like, that might take some time, and be okay with that time frame and be okay with those processes, because it isn't going to happen overnight. It's not going to be easy. Like, you're going to have things that are going to come up that you're going to have to either work through or change your direction with.
Yeah, it took me almost an entire year to find a space.
Yep.
A lot of no's.
Yep.
A lot of people have this misconception about massage still.
Yes. Yes.
So there was like, I don't know what you're going to be doing with massage in my retail space. And then there's also the part where they're like, well, I don't know if you're going to be able to pay me $4,000 to $5,000 a month in rent. Who are
Right.
you? You're not Massage Envy, or
Right.
you don't have a background in
Right.
in running a business.
Right. You're not part of a franchise.
Right.
Yep.
And then it really just takes that one moment,
I know.
one person
Yes.
to make it happen. And nobody's going to give you those answers.
No.
You've just really got to be like, nope, this is what I want. I'm going
Yes.
to keep going. Have your
Yes.
meltdowns.
Yes.
I have so many meltdowns.
Yes, me
I
too.
do.
Me too.
I do. I'm like, oh, it's not going to work out.
Yes. Your poor husband.
I'm going to fail. I give up.
Yes.
And it's okay to have that and still push forward.
Yeah.
Just know that we're all human.
Yep. And your passion's there. And also the one thing to remember too, and I think this is what happened with me, is first of all, nothing's gonna be perfect with business ownership, right?
Right.
So you're not always going to have the easiest working website. You're not always going to have all your supplies exactly how you would like it. You're not always going to be as organized as you would like. But that doesn't really matter to clients, because what really matters is your passion and you're in what you do. Obviously, you're still showing up. You're being consistent. And I think like that to me is something that's really, I have to just drive it in there, because there is a place of perfection with any entrepreneur. And it's just part of it, I think. Like I've met so many different entrepreneurs in my day, and we all kind of have that in common of like, we want things to be perfect and we want things to like work out in certain ways. And we just quickly realize it's not ever going to be like that. So enjoying the ride is really essential for that. But like you touched base on earlier, and I'm going to keep on touching base on this, you guys, so you're probably going to get annoyed. Passion. She obviously had passion when she was going through this process, enough to drive her into that next step. Now, let's talk a little bit about your team. Like, it's kind of interesting that your team is a little bit different. Everybody's a little bit different, I saw.
Yeah.
And I think that's really unique, because you know, you're not necessarily only focusing on maybe therapeutic massage anymore. You have, you know, therapists that offer a little bit different things. Talk a little bit about that.
I think that as a whole, every single massage therapist brings something to the table.
Yeah.
I do try to keep it, I do spend time training my team.
Nice.
So there is a focus on that. We're bringing intention to our massage.
Yes.
So although they may deliver that in a little bit different way, everybody
Yeah.
has their own unique style. It's like, are we showing up and being fully present with each and every client?
Yeah.
And I think my therapists do a great job at that.
Yeah, that's huge. And I really think, like, for a client perspective too, you can tell when a service provider is not in the room, or their headspace is different, or they're just not having a good day. And so it's like that intention and showing up 100% is so important. And you know, it's not saying that service providers, we're not going to have different days and bad days, or going to have weird things that happen in our daily lives in order to affect our, you know, working life. But what I think, that intention is great, because you are going to have that consistency for those clients. And I think that's really what I've always kind of told people is like, you're consistently showing up, you're consistently giving results, you're consistently maybe asking the same questions to your clients. And honestly, that consistency is what sometimes clients really desire.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Could you imagine when you go somewhere and they present you with a hot towel and some tea, and then suddenly the next time you show up and there's not that anymore, and everything, the experience is totally different. So yeah, it's important, I think, to deliver the same experience to a client each and every time.
And I think that's great. I think that's also great that you're like, I'm focusing on consistent education or consistent feedback from your team members. Because I do think, like, you know, me working in a background where I did work for a spa that was a membership-based spa, and it was a franchise. I won't name any names. it was hard to feel connected to not only the place that I worked, but also other therapists. And it was also hard to feel like I had support. And so, and I think that's true for maybe some larger spas and salons too. And so I think if you guys are already expanded, let's say, and you're listening and you are maybe feeling that separation from your team members, or maybe you're feeling some heavy sales woes or whatever, reconnect with your team and have that feedback and have that honest, open relationship with them of what do you need to show up the best for your clients? Or, hey, we're going to practice this, or hey, this is what we're going to do next month. I think that's really good. I think touching base with people, staying connected with them is huge for success. And I do think that every single team that I've been a part of, people need marketing help. People need that consistency of you're doing a great job. They need to know that you are with them and a team with them, and their success is just as important as yours. And I think that's awesome because you just don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
Not saying that the industry is horrible, but I just think that there could be a boost in that part of our industry.
Oh, totally. And I told myself when I was going into this that I would treat my employees right.
Yeah.
The massage industry is notorious for using humans as robots,
Yes.
for lack of a better word.
I agree.
And I told myself that I was going to show up different. And people really just they want a leader, right?
Yeah.
They want a leader, they want a mentor.
Yes.
I think that people will do their best when they're surrounded by the best.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I encourage my team. I think they're great. And I think that when you sort of build that positive culture,
Yeah.
people thrive, and then they're
Yes.
giving their best to their clients.
Yes.
So I'm always my employees are number one
Yes.
and clients second.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah.
we don't care about our guests.
No.
But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a service provider and you're listening, you get what she's saying too. Because we've all been there. Okay, so I think we've already touched base on some of these things, but what do you think is the biggest thing that not only sets you apart as a massage therapist, but maybe what sets you apart from other business owners that are similar to you, so in that massage field?
Yeah, so I would say that we are making massage intentional again.
Yeah.
So whether that is a relaxation massage, whether that's a deep tissue massage that's just on the neck and shoulders, there's an intention behind that.
Yes.
In all of the massages, which I've received a lot, you guys.
Yes, yeah. Me too.
And all over the world.
Oh,
there's
nice.
a difference between a massage therapist that is present and bringing intention to their work,
Yeah.
and for those that aren't. I can feel it, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. 100%.
And that's what we're bringing to our clients.
Yay.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
amazing.
that. I love that. So you guys, if you're listening, you're in massage, you're thinking about expansion, the things that we're going to take away from today's episode are be consistent, be unique. So obviously finding what you really are passionate about, right? And driving from that passion. And it could be as small or niche down as I only want to focus on upper body massage, right? It could be that.
Yeah, totally.
So really think about that of how you are unique, what's your passion, where are you driving from, and then just know that if you're in the process of expansion or wanting to expand, it is not a straight linear line. You're going to have some bumps around, but find your support system. So I always tell people, whether that be other people in the industry, a spouse, I don't know, your children, it doesn't matter who your support system is, but really find a support system, because there is going to be some days where you're going to doubt yourself and you're going to doubt every decision that you're making, and you're going to need them to really lift you up and remind you of who you are and where that passion is coming from and all the things. Well, massage therapists out there, I hope you guys feel inspired. I hope you guys feel like, you know what, I can do this too. I can also compete alongside those big franchises. If you're feeling burnt out, this is also a kick in the butt to say, hey, maybe you need to make a change like she did, and so forth. Yay! Thank you so much, Hannah, for being on my show today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yay.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Until next time. I hope you liked that episode and found something useful or a tip that you can use immediately. If you are wanting more marketing tips, business tips, or anything like that, I have a lot of resources on my website. So I have PDFs that you can download for free. So look in your show notes. There should be a link in the show notes that you can click on and it'll take you right to my coaching website. And thanks for listening.